Hello, hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're at. Welcome to Let's Talk Fabulous with Tamara L. Hunter. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, you're not Tamara L. Hunter. Yeah, I'm a guest host today, so I'm taking over. No, I'm just kidding. First of all, I have to give all the love to Tamara L. Hunter for letting me be a guest host on her fabulous show. I always love the queen and I humble myself to her because this is her platform. And she took the time to say, Barbara, you know what? You want to be a guest host? And I said yes to the call. So, with that, we're going to have an amazing show today because this is a show that we host and explore our fabulous life with some wonderful guest panelists that we have on the show every Sunday with experts in different fields. So you're going to get to meet these wonderful panelists, and also they're going to be talking, giving you some knowledge, just hearing there's some things to help you move the needle in life. Today we're going to be talking about the first 6 months of 2023. Where are you at right now? Where are you at? That's the question that we're going to have for you today. We're going to talk a little bit about, okay, what did you start at the beginning, your goals, objectives. So start thinking about that because some people might have put it to the wayside and forgot about or made new ones. Then we're going to talk about how mindset plays over all that. So before we get into that, it's time to say, let's talk. Yes. So we are here again with our fabulous panel. But see, there's always another wonderful, nice experience we have. And I have a wonderful other sidekick that we have. And she's been an expert coming on, always introducing the show as well. So I want to bring on Mrs. Renee. She's going to welcome us. And then we're going to get right into our panel.
Hello, everyone. My name is Renee Reich. I'm the founder of Finding Your Voice Network and publisher of Finding Your Voice Network magazine. Today, we have a very special guest host, Barbara Beckley. She's going to be interviewing some amazing expert panelists, speaking about the first 6 months of 2023, what's ahead for the rest of 2023, and what's in store for 2024. So as always, get your pens and papers out there because you're going to want to take some notes. It's always very informative and educational. So I invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy today's fabulous show. Barbara, take it away. Have a great day, everybody.
Mwah, mwah, mwah. To you back, Renee. Wonderful kisses. Love Renee. So pen, she said pen, right? She said paper. See, I got a whole notebook. I got old school. Yep. I have old school. Yeah, there you go. There we go. Because I got to learn from all you. See, I'm just going to be listening. I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm going to be listening. So before we get into this wonderful conversation, because I don't want to waste any time, because there's a lot to cover, and I want to make sure that you hear from each and every lady on the panel. And I'm going to say, in my own world, I always call the ladies, because we have all ladies here, queens. So I look at all ladies as queens and royalty. Have your little crown on.
Our crown.
There you go. I see them shining like they're just shining like new money. So before we get into that, we want to start recognizing each one. So we're going to start first by getting their name, where they're from, where they're at right now, because we got people all over the United States and the world sometimes. And then just give us a little snippet on what they do for the world. What are their lighthouse for the world? So we're going to start off with Miss Supermom.
Well, thank you again for having me today, Barbara. And hey, Tamara, we're missing you. But I am LaChelle, also known as America's Supermom. I'm the mother of 15 children, and I'm really a mental wellness advocate. I serve the world with being a vitality coach, where I help professionals navigate through the chaos of burnout or overwhelm and transform that into clarity and confidence with a smile. So I'm excited to be here today.
Wonderful. And we have our next queen coming up. Chelle.
Thank you so much for having me today, Barbara. It's a pleasure to be here. Hey, everyone. I'm Chelle Shapiro. I help wellness coaches and consultants to stand out on LinkedIn so that they can showcase their unique value and attract more aligned clients and speaking opportunities. Why wellness coaches? Because I've been there, I've gone through the thing, and I've come out on the other side. So it's really important for me to help other people who help people get better and feel better. So I'm excited to dive in on these goals today.
And Barbara.
Hi, everybody. I'm Barbara. Can you hear me? Hi, I'm Barbara Ellison. I'm founder of the Wellness Playroom, and I'm on a mission to make happiness the norm rather than the exception. So I work with baby boomers and Gen Xers to become the best version of them, so that when they go into retirement, they retire as vibrant, purposeful, passionate seniors. And so that's what I do and love it. Thanks for having me, too. I forgot to share with that.
Hi, everyone. I'm LaWanna Bradford with the Bradford Group and the Bradford Group Consulting. Thank you so much, Barbara Beckley, as well as Tamara, for inviting me to this amazing platform. And what I do is, through my 30 plus years as a strategist and financial analyst, is I help individuals add a zero to their bottom lines. I show you how to navigate through the obstacles and find opportunities in the chaos. We are making a difference, one person at a time, one strategy at a time. Thank you.
Let's try this again. Hi, everyone. I'm Erin Houchin, and my true passion is really helping people connect back into their hearts, whether that means usually once we connect back into our hearts, we can really get more clearly focused on the goals, what we really want in life, rather than trying to please everyone else. And so that's that simple. Thank you for having me on today.
See, I told you I have an amazing panel queens. So with that said, like I said, I want to dig deep into it. So I started off because I was thinking about when I asked Tamara, we talked about me being a guest host, and I was like, you know what? 6 months has passed. We're going to book about to in July, like in the next week, right? And some people are planners, some people are not. Some people have goals. Some people don't know where the goals went. Some people written them down somewhere, napkin, wherever. And now they're like, okay, where am I? Where am I at? Or some might be right on point. In fact, they might have even surpassed their goals and went beyond. So we have a mixture of a whole lot of people probably listening regarding where they're at now. And I thought this would be a good time to do like a checkup. Do like a little checkup on yourself and just see where you at, how's your mindset, and what are you going to do for the next 6 months to end the 2022 23 year. I was about to say 24. I'm like, why am I rushing? I don't need to rush that. I don't need to rush that. So with that said, I want to dab a little bit because it takes that mindset, or some people, I know Barbara Ellis, we say mind flow sometime, however you look at that. So I want to ask each lady just to give us a little overview what you look at as mindset when it comes to really planning out basically your life, in a sense, because this is personal and business. It doesn't have to be business because it all kind of intertwines. So I want to start off with, I'm going to ask Miss Erin to give her take, and then we're going to go around the room. You're on mute.
You're muted.
Oh, goodness, that's going to be a thing. Oh, so my take on where I'm at personally this year, I wonder sometimes if it's really actually like, are you right on point on, or are we not as clear? Because at the beginning of the year, I was extremely clear on where I was wanting to go, and things drastically shifted in my world. And as I was reevaluating, as I was asked to come back on the show, I got thinking that actually, I think what has happened is it's brought me back clearer to the point where I had truly wanted to be versus these other things that had gotten in the way. So I really appreciate life at this point in time, really just kind of putting me back onto the path as I was evaluating where I was wanting to be just financially, where I was wanting to growth personally, because I really have went within this year for sure to get to where I'm getting more comfortable with myself. And I'm like, how am I going to help other people do that if I'm really starting to struggle? So it's really been reevaluation of my own self and my environment and what affects me and what do I want? Am I getting what I want like in my heart, or am I really just kind of going with what everyone else wants around me? So.
Ooh. I like that. You got to start with yourself first, right? You got to start with your inner self, inner love. I'm loving it. I'm going to bring on Mrs. LaWanna to give her take on that when it comes to mindset.
With me, mindset is everything, and I look at it from as a strategic lens, and how you currently see yourself, how you are seated in your current environment, whether it's your personal or business space, how you're willing to show up and expand, to be seen, to be heard, to amplify and magnify, and then to be able to look at your future self and back into it. So to me, mindset strategically means being tapped in, tuned in, sold out, as Abraham Hicks says, to who you are intended to be, amplify that genius, get away from the fear and the naysayers, and stand up unapologetically and do you with excellence. That's mindset to me.
Ooh, boy, dropping some bombs today, people. Take them notes. You got the note paper. Come on now. Start writing. I love that. Yes, Queen LaWanna gave us, listen to the words she said, because she's good in this, strategically. Remember that. Write that down. When I say certain words, that means write it down. Now I'm going to hear from Miss Barbara.
Hi there. Yeah. Mindset to me kind of comes in two parts. Is the part that the mindset of how are you going to do what you feel that you are called to do? But the other part of it is how are you going to handle who you need to become to do what you're called to do? And sometimes that can be a big balancing act. And so and when we can put that into balance, and not even that it's not a balance for me per se, is that sometimes you're working on the what are you going to do, but sometimes you have to work on the what are you going to be. This morning it was like, who are you going to be? And I was like, oh, okay, I need to rethink that and take me down to another level of trust. That I can trust me, I can trust God, I can trust my business, I can trust that I'm here for such a time as this. And to just let that then that goes into mind flow, where we can just go with it and know that we're being everything that we're supposed to be doing and being.
Wow, I'm telling you, I was like, okay, wait a minute, where you going to be? Okay, I got check. Let's hear from Chelle.
Yeah, thank you. For me, mindset is all about checking in with myself often, whether it's every hour, every day, every 3 months. I like a good quarterly check-in. In fact, that's why I bounce back and forth across the coast every 3 months or so. But that's a check-in to recenter myself and really see, am I moving? Am I flowing? Am I operating in alignment with the things that I said I wanted to do, with who I want to be, how I want to show up in the world? And if I'm not, then assessing everything around me and within myself too, because it's an internal and an external check of like what needs to change in order to get back to who I want to be and who I am. And so yeah, it's a recheck. Am I still on course? Am I aligned with how I want to show up? And I do that often, and every day is going to look different, and I give myself the grace and space to do that.
Oh, I love what Chelle said about recentering myself. See, I'm throwing out the nuggets from each of these queens here. You better catch it. So recentering yourself. Are you recentering? Are you doing that self check-in? Are you centering, saying, am I over here somewhere there? So let's hear from Miss America Supermom on this. Come on.
Well, they have said everything that I was thinking, so I'm excited to be in their presence. So it makes it a little challenging for me to come up with something different. But I think one thing that I would add is for myself, when it comes to mindset, is actually living and being the vision that I want other people to see. A lot of times when you're striving for your goals, you're not there yet. So you're like a work in progress. You're getting there. You're doing the work. You're behind the scenes, really committed to what it is that you want to get to. And sometimes it can be discouraging because, we have this timetable where we want to start a major feat and expect that we're going to get it next week. And so on that journey, it's just important to make sure that we hold the vision that we want other people to see, because it is in our mind. It is something that we're creating and it hasn't always manifested yet. So I would say be and live the vision that you want others to see.
Mm. Wow, that was a mic drop. So let's bring up our Miss Erin here. So I'm loving how everybody had a different take on mindset. And what I said before, now going back to the first 6 months that we have. So I want you all just to think about that. January 2023, when that ball dropped and said, hey, this is 2023. What were you doing? What were you thinking? What objectives and goals did you have in mind? And that at that point, have you basically got to that point, or have you changed something? Have you had challenges? So we always learn from what we learn from what we're doing, and we learn from what things that might have didn't work out so we can share with others. So I would like to go back around again and ask you what kind of goals that you set that maybe it didn't work for you, or maybe you changed something. So we're going to start with America Sue. I'll go up and down here and go from that point.
Well, in my household with 15 kids, we still have 10 at home. I believe there's always some changing, but I want to say that one of the things that has really I've been able to accomplish that has just kind of blown me away is being an international best-selling author again. I had no desire to really be a part of another book project. And I was able to accomplish that in March this year. And I really attest that to collaborating with people. It was a anthology and just coming together and really sharing your story and helping other people to get the courage to share their story. For me, that really is priceless. So, as a result, I'm still in some other book collaborations. So that was a welcome surprise. So I would say collaborating with others gives you the courage to keep sharing your story and sharing it in different ways. So that's something that was unexpected for the first 6 months of the year.
Mm. I like what you said, Super America Supermodel, when you said collaborating with others. There's another word I'm throwing out there. You see all these women out that we're talking to? Believe me, you can have collaboration with each one and get something done. Maybe you don't have to do it by yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna put Chelle. I want to get some takes on your what you've been doing.
Yeah. So if I think back to January and the beginning of the year, I had some very clear goals for myself. One was to make sure that I could always tap back into myself, again, going back to that mindset. And even if I didn't have a physical place of safety, that I could access that in my mind. I lived for a really long time in fight or flight mode. Like I felt like I was always powered on and reactive, or like waiting to like solve a problem or fix something for somebody, and being able to just like power off and step back into myself, um, and create that safe place for myself. Again, even if I'm not physically in a place to do it, has been one of my major goals. And so far, I feel like it has presented some challenges. Um, but it's a work in progress, and so am I. So I'm okay that it's taking longer for me to figure out how to process those things in those moments. The other big goal that I had for myself, um, business wise, professionally, was to put myself out there even more. Um, just like LaChelle, I am a big fan of collaboration. and connecting with people that are like-minded and that want to see other women and humans thrive and succeed. And I believe that we can all do things on a bigger scale if there's room for us, if we allow the space for each other to grow and to build each other up. And so I've just been really tapping into building more relationships. And that goal has exceeded exponentially and will continue to be a goal of mine because I don't think that I will ever stop looking for collaborations. So two main goals that I've been working on.
I love it. Collaboration, building relationships. I'm throwing out those key words from these wonderful queens. So let's hear from Miss Barbara Ellison on her goals.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, I started out this year of really what did I personally need to do? I set financial goals but what was a big thing that was bothering me? And so one of my biggest things was I said in this first half of the year, I was going to get myself organized. Because I felt like I was living in a jigsaw puzzle, that I had a piece of this here and a piece of it there and a few little pieces down here, but they weren't connecting. They were just like so scattered. And I was like, I have got to get organized, get my branding done and get my automation done. And that is now, it's like, oh, all my little pieces are now coming together in the jigsaw puzzle. And it has just been so freeing because one of the things that it has done is it has given me clarity on what I'm going forward with my coaching classes, with my coaching courses, and it really gave me the clarity to say, hey, you know what, this is what I want to do in the next 6 months. And no, haven't made my financial goal, but I know that all the things that I've been doing in the first 6 months are going to exponentially grow in the second 6 months because I've gotten the first 6 months in place. They're almost there. So yeah, that was a big thing for me.
Amazing. Want to do a quick check-in with everybody out there. Hashtag live, hashtag replay. Please put in the comments. Share your goals. Share something that worked for you for the last 6 months. Share something that maybe didn't work, but you learned from that. So we want to hear from our audience out there. Put it in the comments because we're here to discuss that. And there might be some things that our panelists can answer for you as well. You see that they're on point in their mindset and they're talking about what they've been dealing with. So we're going to bring up Miss LaWanna and hear some of her goals and objectives.
Thank you, Barbara. Well, I'll speak to one goal was to enhance my personal brand visibility. I've been a serial entrepreneur for 30 years, and my brand has always been my business brand. So the Bradford Group or the Bradford Group Consulting. But this time I wanted to really spotlight LaWanna Bradford and what I stand for. And why I stand for those particular messages and causes. And I have planted seeds along the way and built, as both Chelle and LaChelle have mentioned, those collaborative relationships. And so I put out a goal. I said, I want to be invited on countless stages without me even having to ask. I'm not going to do paid to play. I'm going to allow my history, my excellence, my commitment, my dedication to speak for me. And I'm going to trust and allow and not ask how. And I have been amazed at every single platform, every single speaking stage that I've been on this year, from radio to TV to print ads or print media. I have been invited to. So that's one goal that is continually evolving. And I want to just pause right there and just challenge those of you who are listening. Sometimes you don't know how it's going to happen, but if you have the belief and you're committed to that and you hold fast to that it will come. Just make sure that you put yourself in the way of opportunity. And the second is things that didn't go well. I have huge financial goals. I'm a financial analyst. Our business is in the financial space with mortgages. And if you're following anything in the economy, we are being hit hard. it is a rough time. I feel like it's Groundhog Day all over again from 2007, 2008. And so we had a huge financial goal this year. We're nowhere close to hitting it. I mean, it's pretty scary how hard our industry is being hit. But we're looking at it as an opportunity. How do we reposition to remain relevant? Despite this change, despite the unknowns, despite things that are totally outside of our control with what our lending partners are doing, how do we still position ourselves to be that agency of choice, to be seen as a subject matter expert in our industry, and to survive? Because right now we're treading water right now, but to ultimately come out thriving on the other end. And so, again, to those who are listening, if you're in business long enough, shift, SHIFT, is going to happen. It's how you respond, how you strategically position yourself will determine how you come out on the other side. Back to you, Barbara.
That was hot. We always we have to have fun on this show as well. We have to give the love and say the mic drops and everything. So thank you, Miss LaWanna, for sharing that. And also, sometimes you have to look at yourself and say, how am I showing up? Is people really seeing what I'm doing? I'm just doing it on my own. I'm just loving what I love, me and me. But she put out there, she's testing the waters now. She's like, okay, is somebody gonna come to me and ask me to be on the show? Is somebody gonna come and ask me to collaborate with them? That's good to know. That's a self-check. That's a self-check. So, Miss Erin, we want to hear from some objectives and goals from you, lady.
Well, as long as I'm not muted again, I keep getting muted. So this year, like I had mentioned before, I totally missed that question, but I was just ahead of the game here. I really shifted this year, but what my ultimate goal when I was reevaluating was that I was really wanting to come back into the present moment. And to come back into that present moment would require that I really focus on the relationships in my life, the ones that I'm in every single day in person, my family. I've been able to spend that time with my grandson, which has been so amazing in building that relationship, and with my kids. My daughters are getting older, and I have a daughter in high school, and I just really was focused on that present moment and being able to be there 100%. And financially, I'm not really where I wanted to be. However, I see things really shifting into place. And I think that when we have that intention, and we don't know the how, like LaWanna mentioned, but it's really that intention that we've set with the goal of where we want to be. And ultimately, that's really what I've done, is just really focus on that intention of who I wanted to be on the inside too, because it's a reflection. We reflect off of each other. And so I really believe that that's 110% that intention. And just clearly, every single day, waking up saying, okay, world, what is it today? But also having those things that, we need to have prioritized in a sense to where it opens up more time and more room for collaboration and new relationships and building those. Back to you, Barbara.
Yes, building a relationship. And see, all these ladies that are on this panel right now, including the main queen, Tamara L. Hunter, and I have to say for Caroline too, she's a queen. She's helping me out in the background. She's a queen. She's production. That all these collaborations wouldn't happen if I didn't reach out, if I didn't network, if we didn't network together. So before we go to our next part of talking about the first 6 months, then we want to talk about what's the next other 6 months going to happen. What are you going to do now? Where's your mindset at? What ideas are you thinking about? Did you learn some lessons before to say, no, I'm not going to do that again? But we're going to do a brief commercial. We'll be right back.
What the world needs now is love. In the spirit of the 60s, this 36-hour non-stop event reaching 80 million screens on E26 TV. This is the Tour of Love. Showcasing top Billboard artists, comedians, including the Guinness World Record fastest talker.
Stop. You have set the Guinness Book of World Records.
And special tributes.
What's for supper? Baked possum and sweet potatoes.
A huge cast of talent. We're all coming together to support all those experiencing the impact of cancer. So join us November 30th on E360 TV and a multitude of other platforms. This is your invitation. We're changing lives, changing the world. This is the tour of love.
Yes, just to let everybody know that the tour of love is coming back. Yes, it is coming back. So we want to start just throwing out those little teasers to let you know that that wonderful platform is going to be coming forward, and you're going to be seeing a lot of things going on there. So coming back again, if you're just coming in, if you missed the first half, you're going to have the replay because you missed a lot of good stuff. You still have your pen? You still have your paper? Good. We're going to get right into, we're talking about the first 6 months. Where are you at? How's your goals doing? Business, life in general. What's going on? Have you accomplished them? Have you just threw out the paper and said, I'm starting all over again from scratch? Or you just saying, you know what, forget it. I'm just going to go with the flow. Some people do that. Some people go with the flow and see what happens. So we have our wonderful guest panelists here to talk about it. And I have a quote that I found because we were talking about mindset at the beginning. And I like this quote where it says, with the right mindset, we can't lose. We either practice what we've learned or we learn what we need to practice. A little to the thought. So with that, I want to go into now because we're almost in July, right? And a lot of us I know I got a little nervous. I want to ask our panelists, our wonderful panelists, our queens, now moving forward, what are you thinking about and how are you going to pursue either trying to finish up your goals or if you're creating new ones? What are you going to do? Give us some kind of direction because I know a lot of the audience out there is like waiting to write down this wonderful information. So we're going to start back. I'm going to start with LaWanna this time. I get to pick.
So what am I doing going forward? Well, it's continuing to press for the mark, realizing that we have not yet achieved, as I said, on the financial scale, what we want, but we are navigating and strengthening the partnership relationships and conversations of our lending partners as to what that future state is going to look like economically, what it's going to look like in our industry, and how we can navigate these challenges. The other thing that we're entertaining is I have been propositioned to become an actual lender. And so that, if all goes well, and legal signs off on everything, we will actually be a licensed lender as well as a mortgage broker. So we'll be able to operate in both spaces. And we're looking forward to that happening in the second half. And the third thing is looking at opportunities. So even though the industry is a little stagnant right now, we're knowledge brokers as well. And knowledge brokers means you have information, you have skills, you have talents that other people need. So how do you broker this knowledge? How do you create training modules and educational avenues for other people to achieve their goals and objectives? So on the mortgage side, we're developing current training modules for women who are looking to understand how to navigate the commercial and investment mortgage space. So that is what's up for us in the next 6 months. Thank you, Barbara.
Okay, there I go. Thank you, Miss LaWanna. And see, again, she is strategically, remember one of those words I said earlier, for the next 6 months, she is planning out what she wants to do. And did anybody hear, I think I heard that, but did anybody hear she said she's going to be like a lender? Mm-hmm. Did I hear that? Did anybody hear that? I know I heard that. That's what, so, okay. So this is where you take notes and say, how do I connect with people that I need in my life so I can move my needle in my own goals? Just a thought. We're going to hear from Shelley now.
Yeah. So I was thinking about micro goals and taking your bigger goals and creating smaller ones so that it doesn't seem so daunting to just tackle it all at once. Because a lot of times, if we think back to the beginning of the year, we we make a resolution to go to the gym more or to eat better, to be on this diet. And then like after a week or two, you know, it falls off. Like it's just not sustainable. So creating micro goals for yourself is really a good way to keep moving the needle and keep reassessing what works and what doesn't so that you can celebrate those wins and keep moving forward. And the way that I'm doing that going forward is I've got a lot of podcasts coming up. I've got a lot of lives in the works beyond the ones that I do regularly. And I'm really trying to be more intentional about how I can create this larger brand for myself, this visibility, so that people know who I am, why I'm doing what I'm doing, and how I can help. And originally, it's a little bit different. That the reason that that's my goal, one of the goals going forward, is because originally I thought that I would just keep promoting, like talking about my program, my course, like my 3-month offer of how I can help my LinkedIn clients. And you know what? Like then more collaborations started coming my way, and it just presented itself in a different way than I ever thought that it would. I wasn't really going after more live streams. I didn't think I, wanted to be on more podcasts. Like I am usually the one that hosts and brings guests on to me. But as soon as these opportunities presented themselves, I was like, you know what? The universe is telling me something and I need to listen. So this is how collaboration is showing up for me right now. And this is the direction of my goals for the future. Micro goals. Loving it.
Oh, that was so nice with the love. See, I'm telling you, this is like, I mean, I hope you're all taking notes here. I love what she said about micro goals. That's important. Sometimes we look at the big picture and then we're like trying to climb that mountain, like, oh, I can't get, then you give up. Sometimes you're like, that's too much. But if you start little by little, right, that kind of gets you to that next goal. So loving it, loving it. Let's go to Miss Barbara.
For me going forward is, like some of the things, like you and I have our podcast already in place, but celebrating that we've been on the air for 3 years, we've reached over 10,000 views, and so celebrate that and let other people know that it's not just about us. It's about and bringing on people that are more influential, bringing on that have bigger audiences themselves, and all those things are a learning process. But for myself, one of the things too is just getting myself out there on other people's. I loved what Chelle said of getting yourself out there on other people's podcasts. Plus, like one of the things for me is really I have a message to share with people about about mindset in their personal development. And so right now I am embracing learning for myself of how to do that and how to take that my knowledge and to make it my own, but also to get it out there and monetize it in a totally that is just slightly out of my comfort zone. So take on learning something new and don't just rely on things that you have been doing. Keep doing what you're doing, expand on them, and then learn to do something new. And it has been just a fabulous experience this year, even in the last 2 weeks of just embracing something new that, and I think the biggest thing was it came from an inspired action of taking time each day to sit down and say, okay, what what would be a good thing for me to do? And for me, it's God, asking God and whatever your spiritual higher power is, just sitting down and taking advantage of that because we all have it. What is an inspired action that I can take today? Who would you like me to serve today? Who would you like me to contact today? And it just is amazing when, in an absolute flash of clarity. Oh, this is what I need to do. Oh, thank you. And let's go do it. And of course, then the timing is right.
Woo, 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 woo.
I love those signs.
Oh man. Okay. What she said, inspirational actions. I'm just taking notes here. Message, what message are you trying to share to the world? Have you thought about that? Are you doing your message to the world? Victory. You're being, whatever you're doing, celebrating what you do. See, a lot of times we forget about that. We're so busy doing, we forget to celebrate our victories, not just within ourselves, but with others. So I want to say real quickly before I get to other ladies, I'm celebrating today. I'm celebrating right now because I'm celebrating the love that I'm feeling in this room and being honored as being a guest host for this fabulous panel. So before I go there, let me get to the ladies because our time is super mom.
I'm just really into what everybody's saying. They're saying some wonderful things. I think for me, I'm working on more of passive income, because a lot of the things that everybody shared, I definitely can identify with. But, I'm getting older and I want to be able to leave a legacy and do something work, but have it pay me over time. So I was very blessed to be able to be an Amazon influencer. So being able to have a website where people can order anything on Amazon and I get a residual for that. And then some other different companies that I'm a part of. And for me, the end of the year is still about impact. It's still collaborating with people. I'm looking to film my third season of a reality TV series that I have on Sandra Network. So I'm looking for 5 guests for that. But it's about still creating platforms for other people who don't have their own and understanding that everybody has a story that they can share. Everybody has their own level of expertise and really putting that out there for other people to know about you. That's just the whole key with marketing. And another thing is Christmas in July. I have a business partner who sends me a half birthday card every year. And for me, Christmas in July, I just started this last year, but my kids got all excited about it. We started watching Christmas movies in July, and it just continued on through the end of the year. And it was just a better feeling. We just had so much fun having weekends where we would just have hot chocolate and watch Christmas movies all the way up to Christmas. So for me, that is something that I'm focusing on towards the end of the year.
Amazing, amazing. See, thinking outside the box. Christmas in July. Something different. What every person here has a uniqueness. Show it. You're showing up with your uniqueness because that makes you different than any other person. And it just makes you powerful. Going back to your message, let's go to Miss Erin.
Well, so for the rest of the year, I love every answer that all of these ladies have given. And it's really creating wholeness, right? Like wholeness within ourselves creates, it affects, it just kind of spills over into our world, from our environments to it just ripples out. And so everything that was said is so important. And when we do something new, oh my gosh, that creates stem cells within our body that also helps it heal. It's just a fun fact there. And so for me, all of those things are actually a part of, that creating just new adventures, really putting myself out there because I really have actually kind of went within and I haven't been a part of really very many, I haven't been on social media at all, hardly actually. But I've been experiencing that in person, person to person, and it's really ignited how much I really miss being online and connecting with people like this all over the country and different places and different times, and how much that can really just light you on fire. And I think the one main thing I'm focusing on is closing up those loops of things that I have not completed over the years that just keep kind of dragging on. And at this point, there's so many different things that have been just weighing down that I get to start to just release now because I'm closing those loops. And when what we say, our words mean things. We're casting spells by every breath that we speak out into the world. And by really going back into our hearts and really enjoying, just really embracing the joy in itself, helps to raise the frequency and the vibration of everything around us, including ourselves. And like crazy, Tamara, she's saying raising the frequency through the world with love. And love, that's really the key. When we come back to that space of love in our hearts, I mean, we change the world just doing that alone. And so that's really my true full purpose. So I enjoyed being on here. Thank you, ladies. You guys are amazing.
Awesome. Yes, loving it. I just want to give a shout out to some of our audience that's watching. Mr. Michael Adam Cohen, I haven't seen him in a while. Hello. We have Caroline in the group talking all this wonderful information. Our Queen of Queens, raising the frequency of the world through, yes, love. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to get it. Oh my God. Oh, somebody said you're a rock star, Aaron. Yes, that's Michael again. So people are loving on our panelists, and I'm loving on them too. And I know they're giving some wonderful, good stuff. So now we're going to do like a quick 1-1-1. I want each panelist to leave just one thing that they want to leave for the audience that can take them to that next level, that can say, okay, my mind, so whatever you want to leave, I want you to do it, but you need to do it real quickly. So with that said, I'm going to start. Let's see. I like how you pick people. Let's go with this time.
Ooh, this is tough. Okay, one thing. Check back in with yourself. Do it often and make sure that you are showing up in a way that is aligned. I cannot stress that enough, because if you are not in alignment, your goals are not gonna come to fruition. Was that quick enough?
One of my favorite sayings is that, don't beat yourself up for the things that you're not. Celebrate the things that you are. Because so often we let those voices in our head beat us up, bring us down. Just tell them to go away. Be more graphic if you want to, but just tell them to be quiet, because we are so loved and blessed and to make a difference in the world. And so when we can put our voice out there, irregardless of what's going on here, our two little things, our angel and our devil on our shoulders, just tell the devil to get off.
Yeah.
Go away.
Yeah. Just knock them off.
Got him. Go away.
So we're going to keep it moving here. Let's go to Miss LaWanna.
I would just like to remind everyone to know that life is all about adventure and discovery. And it's what you make of it in the now. It's happening right now. And just always remember that when your vision intersects with opportunity, success is inevitable. Thank you.
Ooh. Wow. I'm just going to do my own little video. Mic drop. Wow. So people, please, are you writing this down? Look at this. Look at my notes. I'm taking notes. Miss America Supermom.
Well, I want to thank you for having me. I'm going to say a quote by Albert Einstein. It says, "In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity." Mm-hmm. So always remembering that you didn't get places on your own, but at the same time, don't get stuck where you are. Remember that you can always start over and just take baby steps, because it's those baby steps that create momentum for you to keep going. So don't look for motivation, because it may not always be there, but look for where you want to go and just line yourself up to get there. So, and remembering to recognize others. Thank you guys so much for pouring into me today. I've got lots of notes, so I'm excited to have a wonderful, prosperous week.
Yes, yes, yes. I see. I told you got the notes. Okay, okay. I want to make sure I get everybody. Miss Erin, did I get you?
Well, you have now. So I would say, what lights you up? What brings you joy? What really is the most bliss thing for you to do? And to do that, go and do those things that bring you joy. Play, have fun. And in doing that, you really pull in those things that your heart truly desires. And so be present, play, and what lights you up with joy. That's it.
Okay. Now I think did I miss Barbara? The other Barbara? Barbara, did I get you?
I got me.
You got everybody? I got everybody? Yes. Yes. So I want to just throw this at everybody. And I have this quote that's next to my computer. Life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself.
True.
And that's by George Bernard Shaw. Always, whatever you do, you're always creating yourself because you're changing every day of your life. Don't beat yourself up. Don't self-sabotage yourself, but understand that you're creating yourself every single day in life. And that's what I want to lead. Because it's so funny. How about me? That's it, Caroline. That's what I'm leaving. She was asking what's my last thing I was going to leave. Well, that was it. It's basically, it's not about finding, you're going to find yourself, but you're always creating something new. When you think about all these ladies on this panel has talked about what they're doing different, what they're finding out different within themselves, what they're trying to put out there. And it's all about not just helping themselves, but helping others. Being that lighthouse in the world. So with that said, I want to just say thank you again. I want to put everybody on the screen for heed my call, because I did reach out to each and every one of these ladies. And just always remember, like Miss Tamara L. Hunter, the queen of this show, let's talk fabulous. Always talk fabulous about yourself and always talk fabulous about others and being an inspiration. So with that said, I want to thank everybody for being on the show, and we will be on next Sunday, same time, same station. We are also under E360TV.com under Fresh Takes. That's the channel, and you can go right there and watch this show and any other of the other shows that were on at the beginning. So thank you, ladies, so much for being on. Appreciate you so very, very much, and we'll see you next week.